A year ago, I was in Bermuda on Easter weekend, and on Good Friday, I went down this Michael Jackson rabbit hole and started to cry because I could hear him sing as a child, and he had this angelic voice, and I always felt connected to Michael Jackson. I didn't want to feel sad anymore, so I walked down to this beach called West Whale Bay, where I sat down, meditated, and ended up falling asleep. And all of a sudden, it was empty, and then all of a sudden, all these people started to show up, and they were like, "Oh, oh, oh, look, look, look." And I get up, and there was a humpback whale in front of me that was shooting out water from its blowhole. And for some reason, I just knew everything was going to be okay. And that leads me into my recent trip to Giza. I don't know why, but for the last 4 years, I've been called to go there. It's like my root origins. I've been having these dreams about Ra, the sun god. So I go out there, get to the airport, and out of thousands of people, the shuttle from my hotel recognizes me and says, "Jonah?" And like, I didn't send any picture or anything, and I almost got hustled by a cab driver. Nobody else was getting picked up. And so he takes me back to the hotel, and I get situated. And so I say, okay, let me go to the pyramids of Giza the first day. And I get out there, and the first thing I see is a white dove, which Jonah means dove in Hebrew. And I was like, oh, this is about to be magical. Go to the pyramids, and I ended up putting my third eye on the pyramids and meditating. And it was like I could feel this energy charge going up and down my body. Woo, woo, woo. And by the way, it was Ramadan, which, as many people know, 90% of Egypt is Muslim, 10% is Christian. So it was very intense energy. That's that pure love energy. And so, I go about my day, I walk through the streets, and it was like people recognized me, or there was just energy of, because I probably kind of look Egyptian, or could be multiple things, but it was like this energy of like, okay, we know who you are. And go back to the hotel, and that night I was having wild dreams, and I just kept hearing this voice saying, raise your vibration. It's time to raise your vibration, activate, elevate. And so, yeah, I mean, after that, the next day I went to Cairo and spent some time in the city, and got to walk by a Christian church where they had these armed military by, and they were saying that how these people were constantly bombing the church, and that in general it's a loving and peaceful place, and that they still had to have protection. And I went to go eat some food with some people and some other traditional dishes, and I felt very connected. And that leads me into feeling how I felt connected to every race, religion that I've ever met my entire life. Christianity, Muslim, Judaism, Native Americans. I feel connected to everybody because I feel like I've been everybody and every character in this game. And so it was this activation of my DNA that I knew I needed to go there. I've never felt more grounded and at peace. And even though it's a Muslim country and I don't consider myself a religious person, it just felt like I was home, that there's something there that's magical that unlocks inside of us. And spending time in Cairo, and then meeting somebody from Dallas, Texas, who had my childhood best friend's name, who's lived there for 2 years. Like, we grew up, only a few hours apart. It was like, okay, clearly I was meant to be here. And just all the downloads I got that I'm going to be sharing in the next few days of how to activate and elevate and raise your vibration. We're not that all different. We talk about religion, and I don't bag on religion anymore. I know it's divisive. There's 4,200 types of religion. Who's right? As long as you don't judge others, and you love harder than you get loved, and you're consistently raising your vibration, everybody has a path to ascension.